Now, I did do a previous video on this channel talking about anhedonia, but that was back in 2022, so it's been about 4 years. Back when I did that video, I was dealing with anhedonia for the second time in my life. At this point in time, I've been dealing with anhedonia off and on for the past 9 years. And what keeps causing it is I keep ending up in hospital, and then they keep putting me on a medication that I literally can't take, but they put me on it anyway. I keep explaining to them over and over and over again. It's like, I can't take this. It causes severe anhedonia. It makes me not want to live. I can't take it. And they still put me on it. So I'm praying to God that I don't ever end up in that situation again. Because quite frankly, I'm sick and tired of getting anhedonia and having to deal with it and being really down and depressed because of it, and even having suicidal ideation. Like, I'm sick of it. So I've had anhedonia this time around for 11 months now. And luckily in that 11 months, it's already started to go away. Like, I can fully taste food now, which is amazing because usually it takes at least 16 months for me to start to notice any difference in healing at all. But I'm at 11 months now and I'm already starting to heal. I've already healed one aspect of my anhedonia completely. So I want to talk a little bit about why that aspect of my anhedonia has already gone out the window. Now, what I did different this time around is for 8 weeks, I drank what's called golden milk. Now, if you don't know what golden milk is, it's a combination of warm milk, turmeric, ginger, coconut oil, pepper, and honey. And it's extremely good for the brain, and it's extremely good for inflammation. Now, of course, at the time when I was drinking it, I didn't know whether I had any inflammation in my brain or not, but I thought I might. So I tried it anyway. And then after I stopped drinking it, 2 days later, I was fully able to taste food again. And I'm happy to say that that has stuck around, like it's completely healed that aspect. So after I stopped drinking it and I noticed that I could actually taste food again, I did some research into the medication that I was on that caused it. And apparently it can cause inflammation in the prefrontal cortex, which interestingly enough is part of the brain that has to do with your emotions. So I realized at that point that it was in fact inflammation in my prefrontal cortex that was causing the anhedonia. Now, I don't know if drinking that for the 8 weeks completely eliminated the inflammation, but it certainly got rid of a lot of it. Enough to have me be able to fully taste food again. Now, there's many different recipes for golden milk out there, but I'm going to share with you guys the one that I used because it worked extremely well. So it's 1 cup of milk. You can go a little more or a little less depending on how much you want. A teaspoon of turmeric, 1/4 teaspoon of ginger, 1/4 teaspoon of coconut oil, a pinch of pepper, and a teaspoon of honey. So you mix everything except for the honey in a pot on the stove and get it to the desired temperature. And then you add in the honey. Once you've put the drink in a cup, you add in the teaspoon of honey. It's mostly just for flavoring, but it's also really good for you. Yeah, so I drank that for 8 weeks straight, and I can say it made a huge difference. And as I started to drink it, I honestly noticed, I forget exactly how long it was, but like I said, I drank it for 8 weeks. And I would say after about 2 weeks of drinking it, if even, I started to notice I was tasting the spices in it. Like I went from, at first when I was drinking it, I couldn't taste it at all, to suddenly being able to taste the spices, to being done drinking it, and then 2 days later, suddenly I can fully taste food again. So it was really awesome that that happened. And I'm so glad that I came across golden milk and was willing to try it. Now, I would absolutely love to try it again for another 8 weeks to see if it makes any more difference. But with one of the medications I'm on, unfortunately, mixing the two together can actually cause a problem with my kidneys. So I don't really want to do that. The other thing I did differently this time around that really helped me was I was praying more about it. So far, 2 incredible things happened when it comes to anhedonia and praying. The first one was actually back when I had anhedonia the first time, way back in like 2017. And I'm going to tell you guys what happened back then. I ended up being in a church. It was unfortunately at someone's funeral, so I felt kind of at a place that this was happening. But it is what it is. We were in a church. It was a Catholic church, and they did communion as part of the service. And the person I was there with told me I should go get my communion, and I said, no, I don't really want to do that. And they kept asking me to do it over and over again. So finally I decided to do it because I thought, what could it hurt? So I went up to get the communion, and I said a little prayer in my head right before I put it in my mouth. I said, God, please take this from me. I don't know what it is, but it's unbearable. I can't do this. Just take it away. And I took the communion, and the second I did that, my anhedonia was completely gone. It didn't last forever, but it was gone for an entire 3 hours. And in that 3 hours, I was so happy, and I had so much faith, and I had so much hope that it was going to go away for good, that it got me through the rest of my anhedonia. And that experience even today gets me through bouts of anhedonia that I have. I remember that and I say, okay, God's going to take it away eventually. It's going to be okay. So the golden milk and praying a lot got me to the point where my taste in food is fully back after just 11 months versus just barely starting to heal at 16 months. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now, the second way that God really helped me out with my anhedonia was a recent thing. It happened around the 2nd of May. I think it was the 2nd of May that I noticed, but it started happening on the 1st of May, which just happened to be 1 to 2 days after I stopped drinking the golden milk. So on the Friday, I was scrolling through Facebook at some point that evening, I believe, and I came across the reels, and for some reason I was really drawn to them. I usually don't bother with them too much, so I tend to avoid them, but I was drawn to it. So I went through the first 2 reels and I checked the titles, and I was like, I don't want to do this. This is a waste of time. So I closed Facebook completely, and I didn't think much of it. And then later that night, everybody else was asleep, and I was in my room and my son was in there, and I knew I was about to start bawling. So I removed myself from the room and I went out to the couch, and I sat on the couch and I just started bawling and praying to God. And I was like, God, I can't do this anymore. Just take this away. Like, I can't do it. It's overwhelming me. I can't take it anymore. And I prayed for a good while. And then as I was still crying at the end of it, I had finished praying, but I was still crying. And then suddenly I got this really strong urge to check Facebook Reels again. So I went onto my Facebook and I checked the first 2 Reels, and they were the exact same as the ones before, which I thought was weird because usually when you close your Facebook, it resets it all. But they were the same ones, and I scrolled to the 3rd one, and I realized it was titled, Your Joy is About to Come Back. So I watched it, and it was this guy talking about how for some people their joy is about to come back. And I just knew, I had this feeling, and I just knew that it was for me. So I watched it all, and then I closed my Facebook again, and I didn't think much of it. And then the next day, I was on Facebook around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and suddenly I came across this post that said, God is already healing you, you just don't know it yet. And I seen that, and I didn't think anything of it, and I closed it. And then that night, when I went to have my snack at 9 o'clock, all of a sudden I could fully taste my food again, and I was like, that's incredible. I haven't tasted food in so long, and now I can taste it again. And luckily that was on May 2nd. It's now May 21st, and I can still fully taste food. So I'm extremely happy about that. What's getting me through this bout of my anhedonia is constant prayer and drinking the golden milk and just keeping faith in God that He's going to get rid of it as soon as He can, and that it's going to be in His perfect timing, and it'll just be at the exact right perfect time. Now I want to talk about some things that I tried for my anhedonia in the past that didn't work. I tried 9-MEBC, I tried bovine colostrum, I tried polygallutinifolia, I tried a nasal spray of oxytocin. I know I tried things other than that as well. I just can't think of the names of anything right now, but I tried so many different things and nothing was working. So I'm so glad that I came across golden milk this time around and that it's helping. Or that it has helped, I should say, because I'm not drinking it anymore. But yeah, I'm incredibly happy with just how well the golden milk has worked. Now, there's different types of anhedonia that you can have. You can have social anhedonia, musical anhedonia, and physical anhedonia. I don't suffer from social anhedonia, thank goodness, but I do suffer from musical and physical anhedonia. And I must say, honestly, one of the hardest things for me is not having that enjoyment of music. It just drives me crazy. Yeah, so I hope that this video helps at least one person who is suffering from anhedonia. Be sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos. And I will see you in my next video.